Coach, firstly, I wanted to talk about Jamaica. Coach Whitmore has been doing a fantastic job. He took the Reggae Boyz from 100 in the rankings to now be 54. So I just wanted to get a feel from you. How proud are you of Tapa and the work he's been doing with the Reggae Boyz?
Really, for Tapa and the work that he's done for the Reggae Boyz and the JFF has been absolutely superb. He's somebody that's continued to grow in stature. He's somebody that's developing and gaining experience. It's somebody that has witnessed football here in Europe, in England, and been successful. And he's bringing a culture here that he's come to know here in England, but he's bringing it back to Jamaica, and also as well as his vast knowledge of the local talent in Jamaica. And what he's doing is bringing the local talent in Jamaica together with some of the European-based players, and he's finding the right formula. When you look at where he's done over the years, how he's brought Jamaica to 2 Gold Cup finals, it's a wonderful work and a huge compliment to Tapa in terms of the work that he's done there and the continual work. What the JFF have to continue to do now is support him, get behind him, because it's not long before we start seeing the Reggae Boyz being represented in the World Cup soon.
Yeah, he's been in the job for a couple of years now. What would your advice be to him to continue that improvement? Because this is not the top of the mountain. There's still more work to be done.
A lot more work to be done, because the work that we want to be seeing, we want to see Jamaica lift the Gold Cup. Why not? We want to see Jamaica represented back in the World Cup again, and lighten up the World Cup with the Jamaican traditions and everything else. We want to see the team improvement. We want to see vast improvement from the players. By doing that, and the country being represented in these nationally, improves the state of the game in Jamaica for the local team. So for me, it's continued development in terms of going around the world if he can, into Europe, into America, all over these Caribbean islands, and learning and developing, coming here to England and seeing different practices, understanding how things run here, getting vast knowledge of the European-based players. All these things go hand in hand in continual development and improvement, and watching different games at different levels, you know, right over, not just here in the Premiership, Championship, League One, League Two, but in the German Bundesliga, the Belgium leagues, all over America, all over. If you can, if the opportunity presents itself, go and watch as many games, because you can never stop learning and developing.
Yeah, and over the past couple of years, Coach, we've seen the Island Boys getting contracts in the Championship, League One, League Two. How important is it for them to get that experience of professional football, cementing a contract and making a career out of the sport?
Absolutely, and first and foremost, they're getting the contracts because they're good enough. They're getting the contracts because they represent themselves really well, but also by representing themselves really well, it gives the opportunity for others to follow in the same footsteps. So there's continual development in those Island Boys by getting the contracts here in the Championship and in our domestic leagues, because they're good enough. And there's so much more talented players. I know that when I was playing for the Island Boys back then, when I was playing, there were some wonderful talented players, and it's no surprise that there's still that development, growth of players. My message is to the Island Boys: you're good enough. Through discipline, commitment, a focus and a dedication, there's a wonderful life for you to have in our professional game, and you can improve the game, but also you can be a representation to the other children in the communities that you can be successful at this sport through hard work and dedication and a focus and a willingness to learn.
At what point, Coach, did you see in yourself that I want to go into coaching next? Was it the late 90s, the early 2000s, when you're an international due to Jamaica? At what point did you think, you know, I could make the transition from a player into coaching?
For me, I thought I could make the transition to coaching in the late 90s. In about 1999, I knew once my career would finish, and I finished playing in 2012. But I knew in 1999 that I wanted to go on and do coaching. So for me, as well as my coaching, as well as my footballing career, I started doing my coaching from the under 9s, under 10s, under 11s. Every single club I went to and I represented as a player, I went into the academies and was doing coaching. So the transition from playing in 2012 into coaching, when I took the the coach's job at doing the under-18s at West Bromwich Albion Football Club in 2012 didn't come as a surprise because I knew I wanted to do that. It's great to hear in Jamaica that there's pathways now in the media, there's pathways in the coaching for players aspiring to be footballers, but also aspiring to be top journalists and top coaches. So there's different pathways, so it's wonderful. So that's a way that I took, and it's great to hear, speaking to yourself, Simon, that these opportunities that's been presented and being represented in Jamaica, which is great for me to hear.
And a player that you would have played with the Reggae Boyz, Dion Burton, has been working with a couple of times with the first team. Would you say he deserves this opportunity?
Yes, absolutely. Dion's done really well. Again, his pathway was to develop through the under-14s, 15s, 16s. He done the loan manager's role, which is to look after players when they go out and loan clubs and represent them, and he's done a marvellous job. But Dion's vast experience, background, has helped him and stood him in good practice. But he's got a thirst and a hunger and a desire, wanting to. And what you're seeing now, Dion's working at first team level here with West Brom in the Championship. And as you can see, he's more than capable of doing the job. So credit to Dion. He's on the cresp and hopefully trying to help the club back into the Premiership. And again, that would be a wonderful story for somebody that's represented the country of Jamaica.
Do you still get the opportunity to catch up with Reggae Boyz that you played with in your couple of caps? Do you keep in touch with them from time to time? A couple of players, how is that going?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when Tapa comes here next week, we'll catch up with him. It's good to see that we're speaking early to hear how Bibi and Pepe is going. Some of these boys, it's great to hear, how Tyrone Marshall, when he was playing at the same time. It's good to hear distance relationships. Everybody's playing their part and doing their bit for their respective clubs. But it's great to see them on the coaching side. We was all players, and it's good to see them eking out a career in coaching, and if they can be half as successful as it was as players, then the generation of footballers that they're looking after in their coaching capacity stand them in good stead.
And coach, when you first became the manager at West Brom, everyone was on the same page. How did you manage to get everybody on that level playing field and to gain that trust in you?
For me, it was courage. Because they've come through so many hurdles. It was their character, them as people, and then obviously their composure on the football pitch, but their composure off the pitch. And if you put all them three ingredients together, I said that therefore we'd create a strength in unity, which is everybody together and everybody working together. That is the ingredients for me that I felt that brought everybody together. And when I said that, was not just the players, the staff, the fans, the supporters. It brought everybody together in turning the club around. When we look back on a year on today to when it was in the Premiership to where we are now, challenging for an opportunity to get back in the Premiership, I put those ingredients as key to the success of what you've seen where the club is at now. And those are the values that I still carry and will carry to this day moving forward.
And how does it feel to be a pioneer for Jamaican coaches in England? You became the first Jamaican to coach in the Premier League and also in the Championship. How does it feel to be opening the pathway for Jamaican coaches?
Well, I mean, when you put it like that, Simon, it's an honour for me to be looked upon in that retrospect, really. And if it is, and it creates a pathway for many, many more, then I'm so happy for that. My work don't stop here. I want to continue to do it. I want to continue to represent. I want to continue to encourage others, Jamaican coaches, to come in to our professional game, because it's not just me as an isolated figure. There's many, many talented individuals, and collectively together we can help each other in being successful and being more and more. You see more and more coaches represented in the game. So for me, don't stop here. For me, my message is to encourage other managers and coaches of Jamaican nationality to represent and come into the game, because as I said, we need you, the game needs you, and I encourage you to come forward and start on that pathway.
Yeah. As it stands, coach, are you in any talks to try to get into management again in the near future, whether it was a championship club, a League One club, or are there talks? Are you having discussions? Are you having meetings?
Yeah, I mean, there's meetings, nothing concrete at the moment, but I'm in meetings at the moment, and I'm looking to, if the opportunity comes and the right opportunity to step back in there, then I'm happy to go back to work and continue and carry on and left off where I did leave at West Brom, to move forward and get back into the game as quickly as possible.
And coach, if you don't mind me asking as well, how did you feel when you got the news? All 3 million Jamaicans want to know what your emotions was like after back-to-back draws and that decision came.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you know, I thank you for everybody's support and continued support. I really do appreciate the support everybody showed me. You know, but when I did get the news, I was disappointed, you know, really disappointed, because obviously you look and see where the team is at, and you know, you wanted to finish off the job, but the club's made the decision. There's nothing I can do about it. You know, the same man that they gave me the job when I was back then is the same man you see here, that I'm trying to continue to work. I've learned a lot from it. I've gained experience and knowledge through it all. I enjoyed it. It was good working on the front line. It's whetted my appetite for even more, to get back in it more. So I had initial disappointment, but I'm using that disappointment to turn it into a positive, in terms of looking forward to hopefully and getting another opportunity to continue.
And based on the discussions they had with you, did they say it was strictly a footballing decision?
Yes, it was a footballing decision based from their point of view, you know, so we have to respect that. As I said to you, I've done as best as what I could at the time, and we move on, you know. I don't hold any animosities against them. My thing now is to look for the next adventure and look for the next opportunity, and that's what I'm working towards now.
Of course, you had a playing career with them. You also had a time as coach as well. In the future, would you be open to the opportunity if they call on you again to work?
Yeah, because I don't hold nothing against the football club. It was a decision that they felt was right at the time, so I'd respect them for that. But you don't know, in this football, as big as the football industry is, it's a small village in terms of people knowing and working with each other. So, you know, God willing, if the opportunity presented itself again, then I'd be all too happy to go back in and work again, you know.
Yeah, as you know, the world of football has a lot of opportunities if you continue to progress. Would you say international football and, you know, working with the Reggae Boyz is something that you would like in the long term?
Absolutely, 100%. You know, to work, not just to lend your hand and to support, to see the country develop, to see the local talented, you know, and just try and listen. As much as information you can help, my door and me as an individual is always open to help in any which way I can for the Reggae Boyz in terms of moving forward. So for me, they're doing well, they're doing great, and if the opportunity comes for me to help, then I've got no problem to help out.
And would you advise as well the former Reggae Boyz as well to also chip in, the Paul Halls, the Dion Burtons of this world, to give their word of encouragement?
There's enough of us out here in Europe, you know, and I'd echo from all corners of the coaching fraternity and the players, you know, because I've just said it, you know, you gain strength in unity. So the more of us together can come together and lend our support and our experiences, you know, it's definitely going to benefit and hopefully help the country move forward.
And finally, coach, I want to ask you, how are you doing? Not I'm fine, thanks, but how are you doing? Are you calm about what the future has in store? Is it anxiety? How are you doing after this past couple of months? Because you have done a great job. The resume speaks for itself. How are you doing at this point in time? Have you had a time to reflect?
Yeah, I reflected, and and you know, initially the disappointments gone with now, and it's a time for me to work. And when I mean work now, I mean getting up now, watching games. I've been to different countries. I'm wanting to go and watch more games. I'm working. I'm doing some media work. So this is the time for me to re-educate myself and work, you know. So my situation now is I'm looking for the next opportunity to work. I have to be in and around here with the others, as opposed to me going on holiday and taking some time out. The right time will come for me to take some holiday, but right now for me, it's about working. It's about being in the mix. that if anything should come available, then I want to be in the mix just as anybody else in regards to trying to get back into some work and start getting back on the front line, which is where I want to be.
And hopefully be in Jamaica one day to watch us play, hopefully, and get some conversation with Tapa in and the rest of the Jamaican FA.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, you know, I believe that they're coming, Mr. Ricketts and Tapa's coming in the next week to 10 days. It'd be good to see them and sit with them and have a chat with them and get their views going forward. And any way we can help to support them. I'm hoping to come out there for the Gold Cup, for the game, and hopefully June 17th to come and watch the Reggae Boyz in action against Honduras. And so I'm really looking forward to that, to hopefully coming out there and seeing it at first hand, and being back in the country and that, you know, and seeing everybody and being supportive like everybody else for the Reggae Boyz. So them kind of things I'm really looking forward to. You know, if the situation doesn't present, if I'm not back in work, then obviously I'd like to come out there so I can come and see everybody.